Alvaro leading the Salty Goblins, Ted leading Sparky Masters. Some thumbs up, angry faces thrown around. Let's get into it, Woody.
You know, Alvaro's actually got 3.7 million subscribers on YouTube. One of the biggest channels in the Clash Royale scene, and definitely a terrible force within the Spanish community. He's going to be starting off with an aggressive attack, trying to drill in against Ted, whose Elixir Collector holds up, and the Ice Golem defense works very well. A 2-for-5 trade in his favor.
Oh, Balloon might get a connection here. Is it going to go? One drop. And the death damage goes off. Looks like a 3 Musketeer deck coming from Ted.
Appears that might be the case. 1,300 damage off of Ted's right side tower. A good start for Alvaro running a balloon cycle deck. Now the goal of this deck is to just get as many balloons on the field as possible while avoiding the big anti-air troops that your opponent runs. It looks like minions are kind of the primary target that Alvaro's got to worry about, and unfortunately Zap's not enough to take care of them. It's going to be a split push this time though. Balloon going down the right lane and a Miner on the left to take care of the pump.
Beautiful zap by Alvaro to take care of the Spear Goblins from that Goblin gang, but opposite lane push coming in for Ted here. Minions are going to come down. The Battle Ram connects the zap from Ted. Those Barbarians will get a few swings in there, and that tower is in triple digits.
Bit of a panic bot from Alvaro there. Sends in the bats to try to keep those Barbarians off the tower. Spends 2 more Elixir and might have gotten the chance to connect, but with both Zap and Ice Golem in Ted's deck, it's going to be really difficult to ever get those little light flying troops onto the tower. He needs to get another balloon to hit in here, and that's what he's going for. Ice Golem right at the bridge and a balloon to back it up.
Yep. Pump's going in. Minions coming down to defend this. Miner's going to go for the pump. Goblin gang comes down as well to take care of that. Ice Golem, the balloon gets a connection, and that's a tower for Alvaro.
Death damage will tear it down, and a wonderful zap from Alvaro finishes off the remainder of that little chippy push out the right. Bats to clean up the Miner, but zap from Ted's going to give him a few more swings at the tower.
335 remains, and I don't think Ted has the big spell. I believe the last card is the 3 Musketeers. There they are.
Oh, yes,
the 3 ladies in purple.
Marching down the left lane, 2 of them, just 1 over on the right side. Alvaro's can conceivably hold off on the defense here. Looks like that's what he's going for. Minion Horde, the surprise inclusion in the deck, is a bit heavier than you'd expect
Mega
from
Knight.
Alvaro's deck. But yeah, Mega Knight as well. That's a big, heavy deck after all. Not quite as cycly as I had anticipated.
Ted ends up taking the tower. Mega Knight's going to plop down on that Goblin gang, and this Mega Knight's going to get a huge connection for Alvaro here. This might be another tower.
Let's Thompson on the left, and it looks like the Miner was soaking the damage from that tower. Mega Knight pounding away, but it sounds like that tower was able to stand up. Getting back into the game here, it's another balloon push coming in from the Alvaro, moving in hard on the left, and the death damage will be able to finish it off if not for the big drop. Balloon wiping that tower out, and a nice play from Alvaro83. Starting off this match, the Ice Golem might be one of my favorite cards in the entire game. It's just so great at distracting, can deal a little bit of damage. He just does everything right all the time. You never lose value when you play an Ice Golem.
Absolutely not. So Miner coming down from Ted, and maybe log bait from Alvaro. There's a Goblin Barrel going to the right-hand side. He was going to come down, stuns the 2 front Goblins, doesn't catch that back one. You can actually hit all 3 Goblins with an Electro Wizard.
Ah, yeah, timing has to be very precise to pull that off, but when it works, it works. 530 damage off Ted's right side tower, and Alvaro is starting off strong once again. The 1-0 lead in this matchup. Team Salty Goblins is looking pretty strong over the Sparky Masters.
Yeah, not looking so salty right now.
Feeling a little bit more sweet, maybe.
Yeah, you know.
But Salty Goblins definitely makes sense, seeing as Alvaro is playing what looks like a log bait deck. We've seen the Goblin Gang and Barrel already. 3 cards left. I wonder if he's opted for the Tornado or Inferno Tower. Those are very popular cards to deal with those bigger beatdown pushes.
Yeah, Tornado has a less favored matchup against a beatdown style deck, where obviously Inferno Tower is going to melt down those tanks. So Ted might have a cycle deck of his own. Looks like Miner Control versus Logbait, and Miner Control does have the favored matchup in this.
Great Ice Spirit play by Alvaro there. Keeps that Bandit from dashing onto the tower, and it looks still pretty healthy. Just a couple of logs have rolled through on the right side, and 1 over on the left. Ted's counterattacking though, since in the Electro Wizard, Miner, and some bats flying high. Alvaro's got the log, but that can't hit the bats. They lock onto the tower, and the Princess takes them out, but not before Alvaro takes about 1,200 damage on the right side, going down to half health after this poison.
Yeah, and the poison takes down the Princess, but the counterattack coming in from Alvaro. Let's see if Ted is cycled back to the log. No, the Goblin's going to have to finish it off. Log comes in, Interesting choice. I think the Goblins would have come out before the Knight connected to the tower.
He's trying to avoid as much damage as possible. Getting down to 1590. Yeah, trying to play it a little safe. I mean, those rockets are absolutely devastating. That's the sort of card you'd expect to see in this deck, but unfortunately for Ted, not having log right now is really going to hurt. The gang is dealing a lot of damage to the P.E.K.K.A.
There's the Inferno Tower. We were wondering which one it was. Here's our answer.
Wonder no longer. Full frontage. We've got the tower getting burnt up by poison, though. Triple damage. Triple digits on the right side tower. Log rolls through the barrel, and it looks like it's a log race over on the right side. Rolled through the Goblins and hits the right side tower as well. Alvaro's behind on damage, though.
Yeah, he's down by about 600 damage, and that's well over a rocket. So let's see if Alvaro can come back from this. He's going to have a rough matchup ahead of him. He's going to have a good defensive setup, though. I think that Ted wasting his Electro Wizard a little bit by dealing with the Goblins instead of using it to back up the P.E.K.K.A. is going to leave him a little high and dry. Minor Poison is a good win condition, but not really the best when you're trying to rely on bigger pushes, especially with the not the banner, the P.E.K.K.A. out in front. 438 hit points on the right side tower means that Ted only needs 2 more poisons to win the game. Log comes out to try to predict the Goblins, but Ted ended up using the Log to defend that barrel. Miner goes down onto the Princess. Goblin Gang's going to come around back. The Miner's going to connect to the tower. Poison might be able to finish this off with the Log.
Is it going to get within range? Log can deal 96 damage. He gets it in close enough, and that'll be it. Ted rolls the final log of the game, and that will be a tiebreaker series we're going to next.
The only YouTuber to have been swept today is... And I think all these team names were made before the Sparky buff, because we have Clash of the Ash's team Viva La Sparky and Ted's team Sparky Masters. It is now more than a trash can on wheels.
Ice Golem at the right, soaking hits for this Goblin trio moving on in. They're actually going to make it toward the tower. Ted not really defending against them with anything but a Mega Minion, sends in some Goblins of his own, but a little late on those. The Poison ticks away at the tower and the Elixir Collector, bringing that right side down to 1942. 600 damage from the Alvaro's first attack.
Yeah, Poison takes 5 ticks off of the pump, so it only leaves a 3 gain. I believe so.
That's right. Gets 3 more Elixir collected, and that's a +1 Elixir in total. But yeah, you're suffering 240 damage from the Poison. Yeah. Nice Graveyard at the back, got a little bit more damage off, but even better defensive minions. And Ted's next push is looking real dangerous.
He must have been talking to Yugi. He's bringing out the Golem Cannon Cart.
Oh, this is done. Alvaro's not even defending. P.E.K.K.A. comes in way late and cannot one-shot the Cannon Cart. That right side goes down, and the Alvaro must be reeling from that last hit. The Golem is still quite healthy, and the P.E.K.K.A.'s the one getting ganged up on now.
Half health. The Goblins to distract the P.E.K.K.A. and the Minions to clean it up. Poison's going to come down from Ted, but I don't think this is enough for a 3-crown push.
Wow, that Minion is the MVP. Look at that little guy go. Woo. He tore down the right side tower and got the King to half hit points, and Ted's not done yet. Alvaro pulls off those troops with a tornado, but a half health King is not a good place to be in, especially when you haven't even torn down a tower of your own. Ted's still very healthy at a 2-crown, still on his side.
Yeah. He's got both crown towers up 1875 on that top right one, just barely going into double elixir. So let's see if Alvaro can come back from this. He does have P.E.K.K.A. Graveyard, and Ted's only counter to Graveyard is Minions and, well, Goblins as well, but those are both poisonable. Let's see what happens here. Poison's going to come down. There, the Goblins are going to get taken out. Cannon Cart actually does a decent job against Graveyard. Log is going to come down to clean those out as well. A little bit of damage, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Ted might go in with the Golem in the center. There it is, Woody.
Fantastic defense by Ted there, and the counterattack is going to be absolutely deadly. Double Mega Minions coming on in. One of them survives, and it's going for the King Tower. Blocked now by the P.E.K.K.A., but Minions added on top are going to have no trouble swiping down that ground-based unit. She cannot deal with these flying troops, and with the Cannon Cart added on top, I don't know if Ted's going for the 2-crown or the 3. He's got so many troops stacked up on Alvaro's side.
That Cannon Cart is just chipping away. It's going to go into its tower form, but it's still going to be locked on to that King Tower. 322 remains. Poison Log, I believe, finishes it off.
Yes, indeed it will, and that's going to be the game. Ted with the reverse sweep wipes out the Alvaro, and the Salty Goblins have been rebuffed. Sparky Masters led by Team Sparky Masters led by Ted gets the win in this first match.
Yeah.